In this lesson, we'll look at how the course is organized and how this organization relates to the Android developer's website. The Android system is fairly large and complex, so we'll be covering a lot of topics. The lessons are organized for easy reference during application development. The lessons are the individual names you see within each group. For example, the Activities and Services lessons in the App, Components, and APIs group, shown here. This graphic isn't a complete lesson listing. It's just designed to give you a feel for how the course is organized. You can find the complete list of lessons in the course outline. In each lesson, we'll look at the details of how the technology works, as well as coding examples to see it in action. These groupings follow as closely as possible the way Google has organized the Android developer's website. You'll learn how to use the developer's website as a valuable development tool, and the structure and content of this course will reinforce that learning. For example, the Activities link on the website shown here relates to the Activities lesson in the course shown here. Now let's take a very quick look at the developer's website to give you a preview of what it looks like by clicking on this link here. On the Android developer's website, you'll have access to information on designing, developing, and distributing your apps. We'll be using this website as a reference in many of the course lessons. Google has recently made big improvements in the Android website, and it's now much more user-friendly than it used to be. It's virtually impossible to hold everything about Android in your head. It's simply too large and complex. So referencing and discovering information about Android is an important developer skill. You'll learn how to reference the contents of the Android website as well as the course lessons. This is the starting page for documentation on the Android components. The topics listed here relate closely to the topics of the course lessons. So for example, here's a listing for the Activities component I previously mentioned. If we click on Activities, you'll see a detailed explanation, including code samples. And we'll be referencing these pages and building on their content. Now let's take a brief look at each group of lessons to give you a feel for how it's all organized. Notice the larger groups that look like bookends on either side, the development system on the left and the user interface on the right. The development system gives you, the developer, a gateway to all the other components. The development system includes the platform and tools you use to code and test your apps. It includes the Android website, design guide, software development kit, etc. The user interface gives the device user a window to the same components. It includes all the visual elements you see on your device screen, such as layouts, buttons, text, etc. It's quite a large collection, as you can see. All the components in between these bookends are what give Android its power and functionality. For the very simplest of apps, you might not need most of these components. To display the traditional developer's Hello World text, for example, you could get by with one activity and some text. But most apps will, of course, do much more than that. Let's take a look at these elements. App components and APIs control the flow of work in an application, including activities, services, content providers, and much more. App resources are the pieces of information that you'll want to keep separate from your Java code. They're coded in XML, or Extensible Markup Language, and include things like colors, images, and text. Media and Camera Group includes capabilities for capturing and playing back audio, video, and still images. Web apps facilitate accessing and displaying web pages as part of your app. Remote access provides capabilities to retrieve data from locations outside the Android device. Animation and graphics allows you to animate properties, views, and graphics. Data storage provides for storing data on the device and plug-in storage devices. Location and sensors provide mapping functions and access to device motion, position, and environment sensors. And connectivity provides for communicating with other devices via technologies such as Bluetooth, near-field communications, Wi-Fi, and USB. So there you have it, the basic layout of the course and the topics you'll be mastering.